I've been distracted by life and the horrible things within it. And memories of the good things and everything else. And as you know, it's been a difficult time for me. What with the crash, and then my bike being written off and everything else. So I thought what I'd do, I just felt sort of miserable, you know. And then I thought what I'd do is tell you what happened, what I decided, what's going on, what's occurring, what I'm doing at the moment, what I'm about to do, and how I feel. We don't care, Sophia, how you feel. That's a lie. I know that some of you care. Well, lots of you care, because I'm lovely. So, I'll tell you what happened first of all with the insurance company. So, as you know, they gave me 2 hours to make a decision, which is not good of them, and I didn't realise that that wasn't really right. And then they came back with the price, which I told you, and within 2 minutes, I decided to take the bike back and take the money. And then I rang up a friend of mine, and he deals with bikes and bikers all the time. And he said that what he's found is that lots of people who have been in crashes, afterwards, if they have the bike back, they never feel quite the same on the bike, you know? And he said they start to distrust the bike, and he was just telling me what he'd experienced, but of course, me being me, absorb it all, absolutely, and imagine myself in that position. And I actually imagined myself riding along the same road that the accident happened. And then there's so many potholes. Come on, monkey. And there's so many potholes and everything else. And I was imagining the bike hitting a pothole and moving a little, and me thinking, oh God, should it have moved that much? Or is there something wrong with it? Or you are funny. You're going to make me all hairy. So, and then I thought I would distrust it, and if I don't know, if anything happened at all, I'd be thinking, did it used to do that before, or is it okay? Have they missed something? They had missed things as well, so that's the other thing. So the survey that they did, or the assessment they did, was a purely visual one. They didn't go into detail. So I had taken pictures, quite detailed pictures all over, and at the front, where the engine bar was bent in, it had bent the frame. And we know that the swing arm was bent and everything else. So I know that I'd be thinking, have I compromised the ride, the safety of the bike? So then I decided that what I would do instead, do you want to get down? Look, what I would do instead is keep the memories of that most beautiful and perfect bike, but not be in a position where I mistrusted it or was uncomfortable with it or something. So I took the money, and then they gave me a bit more because I asked for a bit more, and that was annoying as well. So I asked them for more, and they said, yeah, okay. And I thought, oh God, should I have asked for more? But it was fair and square anyway. I thought it was fair and square. Then I started looking for bike, and then everything was a bit tall for me, and then some bikes you can lower, like the Chinook I lowered 4 inches. These other ones I was looking at, you could lower them between 1.5 to 2 inches or something, and I was thinking, that's not really enough, but then I put, different shocks on the back and do the seat and everything else. But then I didn't fall in love with anything. And with the Chinook, I remember, I was up north somewhere, I can't remember the time, and when I saw it, and as soon as I saw it, I put my hand on the saddle, and I wouldn't leave it. And even though I was supposed to be looking at other bikes, I was paranoid that somebody else might buy this. staggeringly beautiful bike that I'd just fallen in love with. Anyway, so I've only been to see 2 other bikes. One was a Fat Bob, which was too tall, but apparently the bloke before was an almightily sized man, and I think that he had raised it anyway, so there were totally different rear shocks on, and I definitely saw at the front, on the front forks, it was raised as well, and various other things, but and then there was something else as well, so that just didn't feel right, you know. And then I went to Riders in Bridgewater and sat on various bikes and had a look and was thinking, I still really love that, and I still really want that proper cruiser look. You know, like the XV 1700 or the Fat Boy, that sort of thing. And then I went to go and see Softail Juice, and then I was thinking, oh, it's a bit high, I could maybe lower it. Airbox sticks out. You've got to put your. That's something as well about the Fat Bob. It would make you. Oh no, going it the wrong way. Make you pigeon-toed. Have to be like that to do the rear brake. And then the bloke was saying, well, I never use the rear brake, but I like to sort of alternately use brakes, so I'm wearing them down evenly. So that was a pain in the arse. And it was too big really as well. But then when I saw him riding it, I thought, oh, it does look really, really good. It looked proper sort of old school. But anyway, I decided that wasn't one for me. But you see, what my thinking had been was that I could buy something cheap-ish at the moment, ride it, see how I liked it. I'd have to love it, but get something cheap that I could ride now and throughout the winter. And then you see, but I told you by accident I bought legal cover. So I'm getting compensation for my clothing and protective wear and everything. And I'm also getting compensation for my wounds. So that's permanently scarred, my left knee. And then this, I'm still limp-wristed with my right thing. One of the worst things actually, or probably the worst thing at the moment, is my right hamstring. So even though the bike and I were down on our left, and that's where all the cuts and bruising and lacerations and everything were, I got this limp wrist, this aching right wrist, and the hamstring of my right thigh, and that's proving to be a pain in the arse. It is real bloody pain in the arse. Sometimes it spasms and that really hurts, but most of the time it's when I'm driving and I'm having to push myself up in my seat, wedge things underneath my right buttock, and it's just so uncomfortable. It will get better, obviously, it will get better. So then I thought, when I know how much I'm going to get for that, then I'll, save what I've got already, put that to it, and get something that hopefully I'll fall in love with. So that's how it's gone. In the meantime, I've been thinking, yeah, but I've still got the Vulcan, the Cafe Racer, the GS 750, but I've got an electrical problem on it. And then when you just don't you just don't want to do it. It's just made me really miserable, the whole thing has. So yesterday I went up this with a scalpel and started stripping back the wiring, and then I think I just want a quick fix. I just want to be out on the bike, and this is just going to take too long, and I'm not in the frame of mind. Sophia, come on, it's a motorbike, you could ride it. I know. I'm not in the frame of mind to do it. I can't help it. And that's the thing. I was thinking as well. So you know when I've spoken before about that combined mental and physical freedom when you're on the motorbike. And I always knew that, but I always knew that when I'm on the bike, I feel free and happy and carefree and tough, and like nobody can, so sad, nobody can hurt me, or, I feel utterly independent. Obviously that's nonsense about nobody can hurt me because of the crash. So I knew that being on the bike, but what I didn't think was that not being on the bike is pretty flipping miserable. It really is, and I miss it. I miss the Chinook. This is a nub-worthy cigar. I'm going to go and light it again and talk to you some more. So then I thought I'd make myself happy by using some old footage and making a bit more of the video with this one and remind myself of happier times. So as you know as well, I was going to go to America and that was booked. And then my friend let me down. And then this friend said, oh, I will go. And I thought, okay, that's great. And then they let me down again. So I haven't gone. And that's been really annoying. Really annoying. Because I should be in Arkansas at the moment. But anyway, I'm not. I'm here in Devon. And Devon's a beautiful place. And then I thought, I still want to get away. It's my holiday from work. I booked 2 weeks off to go and do America. The whole of America in 2 weeks. No, just a few states. Starting at Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Memphis, Tennessee, I don't know, Alabama. So, but then I thought, well, I haven't done anything like that. So then I decided, I'll just go somewhere for a few days where it's going to be really sunny and I can just sort of flop and think in the sunshine, which would be good. And I was thinking, at least with a holiday, I would have bought a new bike. I haven't got a new bike. And I would have had some sunshine. So I've booked a flight to Crete. And I've never been to Crete. And then I suddenly realised once I booked it that it's all beaches and sunshine and tourists, and that's not my thing. So that's been worrying me as well, because I'm not very good at, I'm utterly crap and useless at doing nothing. I've got lots of energy and I have to be doing things all the time. So then I started looking at the wild places of Crete. But anyway, if you like, it will be a non-motorbike video, but if you like, I'll do a video of Crete. You have to tell me, because I'm going in 2 days. And then I've bought a new notepad, and I'm going to write down everything, how I'm feeling, what I want to do. Because I haven't enjoyed being miserable. As you know, I like to be happy, and I like life to be lovely, and it hasn't been. It's weird, isn't it? And the thing that would make me happy and be lovely is being back on a bike, and now I'm thinking, maybe somebody could lend me a bike for a while, a small bike, because I'm a short ass. Anyway, that's it really. I'll talk to you about the bike. I'll do a bit of footage, combined footage of the Chinook, and you'll probably hear me in the background going, oh God, I loved it so much. But I do have those memories. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to say as well. I'll tell you a little story. I adored my grandmother. Grumps, I used to call her. Grumpy Pig. It sounds really disrespectful, but it wasn't. And she was just utterly adorable. I absolutely adored her. She was lovely and brilliant and intelligent and wise and such good fun. Really, really good fun. And elegant, and she was a massive, massive, massive influence on my life. And I never thought that she'd die, because she shouldn't have. But she did die, and she was 90, so, it's a good life. But when she died, I was thinking, I couldn't sort of accept it. And I remember going fishing and saying to a friend of mine, but why did he have to die? And he said, Sophia, you are daft, everybody has to die. And I said, no, everybody does die, but maybe there's magic in the world, and maybe not everybody has to die. But he sort of couldn't understand what I was saying. And for about 2 years, I was crying a lot and very upset and thinking, it's not fair, and she's dead and I'll never see her again, and this sort of thing. But then afterwards, after about 2 years, I thought of a positive, and the positive was, if I hadn't had her, and I hadn't loved her so much and adored her, and I wouldn't have had all these wonderful memories, and I wouldn't have known what it was to love so much, and and with the Chinook, I know it sounds, probably sounds a little daft, and I've said this before, that I used to think of it as my grumpy grandfather. And that's the first time I ever went for a ride on the Chinook, and it was there grumbling up this hill, and it felt like a friend, and it felt protective and tough, and I did have a really lovely connection with that bike. So now, as I say, I just remember the good things. Yeah. And I'll have to start a new adventure with another bike when I see one that I'm going to fall in love with. If any of you are watching this and you have something like a fat boy or a fat bob or a softail, what's the heritage softail? I do like those. Then tell me. It can't be too expensive. And you know that it would be absolutely and utterly adored. And I don't want to go for another XE 1700 because that was the one. Or maybe I will, I don't know. But that was the one. That was the perfect bike. Is this the way we have to live? I know I care, and I want an equal share, even if it means I have to give. The people who are on top say that you should keep your We love that song. Don't go anywhere near that stolple. We love that song. Coca-Cola and Devon Red.
Devon Red.
And we're talking about
gossip people. Remember the
gossip people?
We're talking about people.
We're talking about how life can be a little tough for ladies.
It's very tough for ladies all the time. But this is nice.
And we're talking about how sad it is without a motorbike.
Yeah, because I fell off mine. And
Jane had one for
2 weeks. And I never did the test, and I went in the garden on it and fell off it. And it landed on me. I thought, oh.
But the best thing you did was the brum brum.
Yeah.
They say